California is expensive. We all know that, but San Diego County, it hits different. The county median home price just crossed $915,000. The average cost of living here runs 50% above the national average. Rent in the city of San Diego, it averages nearly $3,000 a month. And if you're buying near the coast, La Jolla, Del Mar, or Coronado, your budget's gonna start at $2 million. But here's what most people don't even understand about San Diego. Not every suburb is playing the same game. There are communities in this county where the cost of living runs well below the metro average. Places where your dollar can go further. Your housing costs are manageable, and you're still living in one of the best climates on the planet. I'm Steven Rotzart, and today we're counting down the 10 San Diego County suburbs with the lowest overall cost of living, covering housing costs, grocery prices, transportation, utilities, and everyday expenses. Stick around too, because number one suburb on this list has a cost of living index that's nearly 25% below the San Diego metro average. And most buyers, they've actually never seriously considered it. Let's get into it. Number 10 is going to be Oceanside, the coastal bargain that most buyers sleep on. Oceanside sits about 38 miles north of downtown San Diego. Roughly a 45-minute drive on I-5 North in normal traffic. Homes here run the full range. You've got 1960s ranch-style homes on the inland side, newer master planned communities on the east side of I-5, condo complexes within walking distance of the Pacific Ocean. Prices start in the low 600s for attached homes and reach about $1.2 million for single-family detached near the water. Here's why the cost of living is lower than you'd expect. Oceanside's large military population from Camp Pendleton keeps the rental and entry-level purchase market anchored at more accessible price points than probably neighboring cities like Carlsbad or Encinitas. That competition from government housing assistance programs structurally suppresses the floor and benefits all the buyers in the area. The result of all this, cost of living index approximately 128, roughly 15% below the San Diego city average of 155. Median home price of $858,000 compared to $915, which is the county median, and $1.3 million in Carlsbad alone. Grocery and daily expenses track close to the national averages due to high retail competition in the area. And if you're not giving up anything to get to it, Oceanside has the iconic Oceanside Pier, a growing craft beer scene in the area, a really strong surf culture, and California's most overlooked beach scene. Also, the Sprinter light rail connects you straight down the I-5 corridor, so the coaster can take you straight all the way to downtown San Diego. Actually, a pretty cool trip. Number 9 on the list is going to be Vista, North County's most underrated value play with a craft beer bonus. Vista sits about 35 miles north of downtown San Diego, roughly a 40-minute drive on the I-15, and then you're going to cross over on State Route 78. The housing stock is a mix of 1970s through 1990s single-family homes. They're on larger lots though. Newer townhomes and multi-generational ADU-friendly properties have come into the area. Prices range from the mid-500s for townhomes. They go all the way up to about $900,000 for detached homes with views and a lot of extra land. Now, here's why the cost of living is lower than you'd expect here. Vista has a significant commercial industrial base along the 78 corridor. That includes manufacturing, retail, light industrial operations, and it includes municipal revenue that reduces the tax burden placed directly on residential properties. So lowering the housing entry points means lower monthly carrying costs across the board in the city of Vista. Now, the result of this, the cost of living index is approximately about 125. That's about 19% below the San Diego city average. Median home price, about $700,000, well below the county median. Townhomes are available for about $664,000. Rare at this price point, but rare especially for North County with an attached garage. The low cost of entry is the headline, but Vista's real lifestyle and substance, that's actually where it all begins. It's part of San Diego's Hops Highway with 15 plus craft breweries. It's a growing art district and it's an easy access to the freeway, both North County for the I-15 Tech Corridor and southbound. ADU friendly zoning makes it stand out for investors and multi-generational families alike. Now, number 8 on the list is going to be Escondido, the largest inland suburb in the county and one of the most underpriced. Escondido sits about 30 miles northeast northeast of downtown San Diego. It's about a 35-minute drive on I-15 with over 140,000 residents. It's one of the largest cities in the county, and the population base supports a real robust commercial sector, and it keeps everyday costs very, very competitive. Homes range from $600,000 to entry-level detached homes up to $1 million for hillside properties with some acreage. Now, here's why the cost of living is lower than you'd expect here. Escondido has a very well-established commercial tax base. Retail corridors, Westfield, North County Mall, and the proximity of significant light industrial operations. This helps offset the residential tax pressure. Larger lot sizes mean lower price per square foot compared to infill coastal alternatives. In the cities, it creates genuine grocery and retail competition, and it keeps those daily costs in check. So the result of all this is the cost of living index is approximately 122. That's roughly 21% below the San Diego City average. The median home price, about $650,000 to $720,000 with large lot options, and that's unavailable closer to the coast. Your grocery, dining, and daily costs benefit from genuine retail competition at this population scale. Lot of options. Now, beyond the numbers, Escondido has one of my favorite attractions in San Diego, the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, an 1,800-acre world-class attraction. It's along with a walkable downtown area, performing arts center, the California Center for Performing Arts. Families consistently rate schools, parks, community, and a feel of the price point that just makes financial sense. Now let's head south. Number 7 on the list is going to be Chula Vista, San Diego's second largest city and the most affordable with actual amenities. Chula Vista sits about 7.5 miles south of downtown San Diego. It's one of the shortest commutes in the entire list that I'm presenting to you. It's San Diego's second largest city with 280,000 residents, giving it the retail density, restaurant diversity, and the service infrastructure most suburb buyers, they really don't expect. Homes range from about $650,000 for townhomes, and that's in the East Lake area, to $900,000 for newer detached homes down in the Otay Ranch area. Now, here's why the cost of living is lower than you'd expect here. Chula Vista's proximity to the U.S. border creates a structural price discipline. Cross-border shopping, groceries, services, daily goods. It's a legitimate strategy that many residents down there use. The city also benefits from a newer master plan. They've done a great job of developing the overall area. The inventory in Millennia and Otay Ranch, it keeps the housing costs competitive. So that gives buyers a genuine new construction option below the county median price point. So the result of all this, the cost of living index in Chula Vista, approximately 120. That's roughly 22% below the San Diego City average. Median home price in the area, approximately $650,000 to $750,000. One of the very few areas in San Diego County that does have new construction. South Bay grocery and retail costs, they run about 5 to 10% below the mid-county averages, just due to the proximity to the border and the border market competition itself. The lifestyle case is stronger than most buyers even really realize. Chula Vista has the Otay Valley Regional Park, the U.S. Olympic Training Center, a revitalized waterfront on the bay, and walkable shopping and dining in East Lake and Otay Ranch. Sweetwater Union High School District schools consistently perform above average. This is a legitimate long-term market. Now, number 6 on the list is going to be Fallbrook, North County's hidden gem. Space, privacy, and avocados, well, they're included. Fallbrook sits about 50 miles north of downtown San Diego, roughly a 55-minute drive on I-15 over to State Route 76. The housing stock leans towards larger lots, ranch-style homes, agricultural properties with some mature avocado groves, citrus trees, and mountain views. Prices start in the mid 700s in this community and range up to $1.2 million for estate properties with acreage. Now, here's why the cost of living is lower than you'd expect here. Fallbrook's rural character means the land use intensity, lower infrastructure costs, and municipal structure that doesn't carry that high overhead of high density cities. Residents often grow their own produce, avocados, citrus, and vegetables, meaningfully offsetting grocery costs in the community. The price per square foot here is among the lowest in the county for detached single-family homes. The result of all this, the cost of living index, approximately 118. That's 24% below the San Diego City average. Median home price, about $777,000, but significantly larger lots than comparable coastal suburbs. Price per square foot, about $424 a foot. One of the lowest ratios in the county for detached homes. Residents, well, they describe Fallbrook as like like the California dream that hasn't been priced out yet. And I would have to agree with them. You get the weather, the mountain views, the privacy, the space to build out, and you're still 20 minutes from the beach in Oceanside and 55 minutes from downtown San Diego. A local once told me this will be the next Rancho Santa Fe. Better to get in now. I would say that's hard to argue that. So if you're already running your numbers on a move to San Diego County, I completely get it. My name is Steven Rotzart, and my team and I have helped hundreds of families relocate to the right suburb in this county. We don't just hand you a list. We run real numbers, total cost of ownership, commute time, school ratings, and neighborhood trajectories so that you can make the move with confidence. All my contact information is in the description below. Call, text, or book a free strategy session, and we'll figure out exactly which suburb belongs on your short list. Now let's get back to the countdown. Next up is going to be number 5 on the list, Spring Valley. East County's diverse, overlooked powerhouse, 15 minutes from downtown. Spring Valley sits about 12 miles east of downtown San Diego. That's roughly a 20-minute drive on State Route 94 or I-8. It's a large, diverse community with flat suburban neighborhoods, hillside homes with views, and pockets with oversized lots you simply cannot find at this price closer to the city. Homes range from about $600,000 on an entry-level basis to about $900,000 for larger detached properties. Now, here's why the cost of living is lower than you'd expect here. Spring Valley is an unincorporated community within San Diego County, which means the residents avoid layers and layers of city-level taxes and municipal fees, and those add costs in the incorporated cities. That structure distinction quietly puts money back in a homeowner's pocket every single year without making headlines. The result of all this, cost of living index approximately 116, roughly 25% below the San Diego City average. The median home price, approximately $650,000 to $780,000 with 3-bedroom options, well below the county median. Unincorporated county status totally reduces municipal fee overhead for residents. Buyers come for the price, they stay for everything else. Spring Valley has a sweetwater reservoir for fishing, lakeside walking, cultural diversity reflected in a restaurant scene from Filipino, Mexican, Vietnamese, Southern food, and a community that has long-time residents. They describe it as genuinely neighborly. The commute to downtown San Diego, genuinely fast compared to most suburbs on this list. Next up is going to be number 4, Lakeside, East County's outdoor lovers suburb. 4 reservoirs, trail access, and prices that actually just make sense. Lakeside sits about 23 miles east of downtown San Diego. It's roughly a 30-minute drive on I-8 and State Route 67. The community centers around Lindo Lake offers access to 4 major bodies of water: Lindo Lake, Lake Jennings, El Capitan Reservoir, and San Vicente Reservoir. Homes are predominantly single-family detached with larger lots. Prices are going to start about $700,000 and reach about $1 million for updated homes with acreage. Now, here's why the cost of living is lower than you would expect here. Like Spring Valley, Lakeside is also an unincorporated community, county administered, not city taxed. Combined with its distance from the coast and the rural character of its surrounding areas, the price pressure that drives up the costs in western San Diego County simply has not arrived here yet. The value per square foot ratio means one of the strongest in the East County corridor. The result of all this, cost of living index, approximately 114, roughly 26% below the San Diego City average. Median home price, approximately $720,000 to $810,000 on noticeably larger lots than equivalent price properties elsewhere. Rural, unincorporated status keeps municipal overhead in certain fee categories below incorporated city levels. Now, beyond all these numbers, the lifestyle holds up for the right buyer. Fishing, boating, camping, lakeside hiking, equestrian trails, and climbs up the El Capitan are all available locally. Residents consistently describe it safe, family-oriented, genuinely community-driven. So if you want space, nature access, and a home that doesn't feel compromised by a tight budget, I have to tell you, Lakeside delivers. Now, number 3 on the list, La Mesa, the jewel of the hills. 9 miles from downtown with a main street that truly earns it. La Mesa sits just 9 miles east of downtown San Diego, roughly a 15-minute drive on I-8. With 61,000 residents, it punches above its weight for its amenities, I have to tell you. A walkable historic downtown, a weekly farmers market, an annual Oktoberfest that draws the whole county, with trolley access straight into San Diego. Homes range from the mid $500,000 $600,000 for entry-level condos to $900,000 for larger detached single-family homes in established neighborhoods. Now, here's why the cost of living is much lower than you would expect here. La Mesa's established housing stock, most of it built in the 1950s through 1980s, hasn't been subject to the luxury redevelopment premium that's repriced similar vintage communities in the more western zip codes. The trolley connection to downtown reduces transportation costs for households that can operate with only one vehicle or none for that matter, which is genuinely meaningful in a county where car ownership costs run high. The result, cost of living index approximately 130. That's 16% below the San Diego City average while maintaining superior proximity. The median home price approximately $650,000 to $850,000 depending on the size and location in the city. The trolley access reduces the household transportation costs. That's a real budget line item for families. And the lifestyle, well, it holds up. Downtown La Mesa has active restaurants, bar scenes, boutique, retail community, events year-round, and the kind of walkability that's truly rare this far east from the coast. Grossmont Union High School District schools, they're solid. For buyers who want proximity to the city without city prices, La Mesa still remains one of the best positioned suburbs on this list. Next up, and number 2, Lemon Grove, the most underrated suburb in East County and the smallest city with the biggest value case. Lemon Grove just sits 10 miles east of downtown San Diego, roughly 15-minute drive on State Route 94. It is the smallest incorporated city in San Diego County with a population of 26,000, and it maintains one of the lowest cost of living profiles in the entire metro area. Homes here are predominantly 1950s, 1970s single-family detached homes. Prices start in the low 600,000s. They go all the way up to about 850,000 for updated properties. Now, here's why the cost of living is way lower than you'd expect here. Lemon Grove's small city government operates on lean municipal budget, low overhead, focused service and delivery, minimal bureaucratic bloat. That translates directly into lower residential cost burdens. The city, it also benefits from trolley service on the Orange Line, creating real transportation optionality that reduces the household costs of commuting into downtown San Diego. The price per square foot sits around $589 a square foot, one of the most efficient in all of East County. The result of all this, cost of living index approximately 112, roughly 28% below the San Diego City average. Median home price approximately $780,000 with a price per square foot of $589, amongst the best value ratios in the county. Lean city government, that structure keeps municipal tax burdens among the lowest in any incorporated city in the metro area. The value doesn't stop at the numbers, by the way. Lemon Grove has direct trolley access to San Diego, a really tight-knit community feel, and a location that gets you to downtown, the beaches, and the East County mountains with equal ease. For the first-time buyer or a value-driven family looking to maximize what their dollar buys in this county, Lemon Grove belongs on the list. Now, here it is. Number 1 on the list. El Cajon, California. The one you've all been waiting for. El Cajon sits about 17 miles east of downtown San Diego, roughly a 20 to 25 minute drive on I-8. The name means the box in Spanish, and it's actually very fitting. El Cajon sits in a natural valley surrounded by hills, creating a distinct community identity with its own economy, amenities, and a sense of place. Homes here run from $600,000 for entry-level detached to $900,000 for updated larger properties, and they do exceed $1 million. Here's why it takes the top spot though. El Cajon has the strongest commercial base of any suburb on this list. It's home to major employers including Taylor Guitars, the Gillespie Field Airport, a general aviation hub that drives significant economic activity into the area. The city's retail corridors along Magnolia Avenue and Fletcher Parkway, they generate substantial sales from tax revenue, and it helps offset what would otherwise fall on residential property owners. The result of all this, cost of living index approximately 108, the lowest of any suburb in San Diego metro area. That's roughly 30% below the San Diego City average of 155. Median home prices, approximately $600,000 to $700,000. The most accessible entry price point of any suburb in this countdown. Everyday costs, groceries, utilities, services, they run measurably below the mid-county averages due to genuine retail competition. Residents enjoy what used to be the Mother Goose Parade tradition, and I hope that comes back. That was running for over 70 years straight, and well, we got to get that back into it. Haunt Fest, outdoor concert series, easy freeway access to both downtown San San Diego and East County mountains, and a culturally diverse food scene that punches well above the suburb size. I'm gonna tell you, you're not gonna starve in El Cajon. For buyers who want maximum value per dollar spent in San Diego County and a community that's been underpriced relative to its fundamentals for years, El Cajon is the answer. And if you want the San Diego lifestyle without the San Diego premium, this is as close as it gets. There you have it. 10 San Diego suburbs where overall cost of living actually works in your favor. Every one of them has a structural reason. The numbers are lower than the metro average. Commercial tax bases, lean municipal budgets, unincorporated county statuses, transit access, geographic pricing gaps. They haven't even closed yet. Fair warning, before you start booking tours, cost of living is one piece of that puzzle. And you'll want to weigh schools, commute times, neighborhood trajectory, and what your day-to-day life is going to look like in that zip code. A low cost of living in one wrong suburb for life is not a win. I'm going to tell you that. And that's worth knowing before going on. Which of these made your short list? Drop it in the comments below. I truly read every single one of them. And if you're serious about relocating to San Diego County, you've got multiple options. Keep Googling. And trying to piece it together yourself, well, that's not gonna work. Work with an agent who doesn't know these markets like we do, or reach out to us personally and get someone who's already run these numbers for hundreds of families. We know which streets are trending up, school boundaries shifting, and which suburbs are about to be repriced. My info's in the description below. Make sure you hit subscribe, and we drop breakdowns like this regularly and data because this county, it moves fast. And I'll see you in the next one.